The contract with state unions providing for benefits and pensions is locked in through 2027, a provision the legislature provided in return for various concessions. As governor, would you honor this contract or seek in some fashion to reopen it in pursuit of further concessions?
Thank you, Sassy. Again, just when you hear it tonight, when Mr. Lamont says property tax cut, $100 a year. We're going to spend more time talking about it tonight than it's worth. In terms of the CBAC agreement, we are not, this pension plan is $100 billion underfunded. It's almost $30,000 per man, woman, and child in the state of Connecticut. Mr. Lamont claims to be the friend of the union. By lying to the unions and telling them that money is going to be there is not the answer. I don't mean to be mean-spirited about it. We need to protect people's retirement. We need to give them good health care. But the checks are going to start to bounce. It is classic of bureaucrats like Mr. Lamont to do that, and Dan Malloy's been doing it for 8 years. We need to sit down at the table. We need to have a fair compromise, and we need to give state employees the security that at least something will be there. It's only fair to them to do it, and it's not fair to avoid reality.
Mr. Lamont, your rebuttal, 90 seconds.
Bob's idea of fairness is to eliminate the income tax for himself, eliminate the inheritance tax for himself, and put all the burden on the state employees. And Sassy, you're never going to get people to the table with that type of a one-sided deal. I do have the respect of labor, and I respect labor. I know that we entered into a contract many years ago with them, and they have done nothing wrong. It's the fact that we had governors on both sides of the aisle going back a generation that didn't put a dime in. What does that mean? That still means we get back to the table. That means business and labor will be at the table. That means I sit down and look people in the eye. I say we're going to have to make fundamental changes in terms of how we change benefits going forward, both on the health care side, as I tried to suggest before, as well as on the pension side. It's absolutely true that we can no longer have our liabilities going up faster than our assets. You need somebody who's got the credibility with labor to sit down at the table and say, we're actually doing this to protect the next generation of workers. What we can do on the asset side, put more assets into there. Put the lottery into the teachers' pension fund so the teachers have some confidence that the money will be there going forward. We have billions of dollars of real estate. What is Connecticut doing with 4,000 buildings? That ought to be under private management in a REIT. Put some of that into the state employee fund. And on the other side, we're going to have to slow the rate of increase when it comes to pension obligations. Look, I would put things on the table. I would put double dipping on the table. How long can we continue to do that? And our legislators, you know, how long are they going to be able to put car mileage into their pension obligations? I'm willing to put everything on the table to get the job done.
Mr. Stefanowski, 30 seconds, please.
So there you go. You know, a bunch of superficial ideas. The reality is they have a $100 billion problem. We probably can't treat it prospectively. We probably need to look at the existing benefits to solve this problem. But again, Mr. Lamont, you are not doing, you say that you're the friend of the union. Lying to people and telling them that money's going to be there when we both know it's not going to be there. There is money we can save around the state. We should use it to fund our pension plans. We should use it for a tax cut. But I challenge you to find $100 billion that we're going to be able to use to fund that pension plan. It is not going to happen, and we need to admit that. And until we admit it, we can't solve it.
Mark Davis, your question, please.
All right, gentlemen.